What are we, 10 weeks out from the Olympia now?
We're like sub 10. Tomorrow's 9.5 weeks. So, we're dialing in almost single digits, right?
It is creeping up. Yeah.
I know, man. I
Like,
was actually last week, I was off like 2 weeks. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking about it, but it's just one of those things when we stay in prep, it just doesn't really seem like we're ever in an off season. Technically it is an off season because we took like a little bit of a break. You got to give your body time to clear out and do what's necessary to allow your body fat to go up and to add to the look. You don't want to bring that same look, but
yeah.
you're right back into it. And those 10 weeks are going to be like, next thing you know, we're going to be all together, me, you, and Erin. We're going to be in Vegas doing content. We're going to be like, damn, that went by fast.
Bro, it's crazy because, like, I think everybody takes a little bit of a break off. The goal is always qualify a little bit, right? And then fine tune. Finding, like, what was your fine tune? Like, was it trying to add tissue to the back?
Yeah, it's definitely the back. The back is what's been holding me back. And talking to, Tyler, Attila, all these judges, it's the same common denominator. Your back needs to match your front. And that's the way that they set it is actually makes more sense to me. It's not that my back is weak. It's just it makes it look so much weaker because my front is so dominant. So when I walk out on stage, that initial wow factor from my physique in the front, as far as structure, conditioning, and all that, and then I face the back, my back's still conditioned, but it doesn't have the density that my front has.
See, and this is funny because I was actually talking to Sadik about this backstage, and he was saying the weight cap was throwing him off. Like he
Mm.
was really questioning whether or not to, stay in men's physique, go to classic, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But like with you, right? Like you need to add density to your back. So that comes with pounds, right? Like muscle doesn't come free. So how do you do that already being at the weight cap? Is it just fine tuning? Is it sacrificing tissue? Is it not training legs? Like where's your head at?
Body composition, man. So I haven't trained legs. I still do indirect work, obviously, from cardio and things like that, but it's not necessarily a weak point to where my legs are something that I definitely need to grow or improve on. But it's more or less just that body composition, putting more focus on the areas that I need instead of adding more to areas that are already strengths. I want to make my weaknesses strengths, and then my strengths, I can maintain the legs, right? I've never been a lower body dominant guy, but it's definitely not a weak point.
No,
So a
it's
men's
not.
physique still is going to be an upper body show. And if I could, shift some of that density and detail and shape to my back, it's just going to even out the physique even more for what the division is. And like we were talking about with Sadik trying to make that weight, I had that same issue. And a lot of guys don't understand that. Like, for example, Optimum, I wasn't able to show off my strengths because I was so flat. So there wasn't muscle tissue that was actually showed on that stage because I was just flat. Like I believe that I had this conversation with Cuts the other day. We're comparing Miami versus Toronto. Miami did have better lighting, but Toronto was definitely the more complete, fuller look. And that's where you could really see the improvements in my back in Toronto, especially being next to, Chevy and guys with
Mike check.
dominant backs.
Yeah,
What's up, champ?
you
What's
good.
happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Welcome
I,
home.
I was actually trying to say, hold on, real quick, because I know this. I know for damn sure this motherfucker do not have a men's physique radio shirt on, and I ain't got
We
one
don't
at
have
my
it.
front door.
I
Bro,
already beat you to
whoop
it. I
your
asked
ass.
them earlier.
I already got the text from Drew earlier. This is just the sample. I had to make sure it was right before we got the team
Hey,
hooked
all
up.
right, all
Coming,
right, all right.
coming.
I let you slide. I
Yeah,
let you slide.
it's fresh, bro. These are nice though. We
It's
got over
clean
six.
though. It's clean. I can't wait
Hell yeah.
to
But
release him.
yeah, man. Drew, I see what you mean. And the thing is, you definitely don't have small legs. I've seen you gonna hit leg shots, and you can definitely sacrifice lower body. And it's kind of crazy, man. It's like I'm seeing so many people nowadays having to like be so strategic in men's physique, where you we've seen it for like over the last 3, 4 years, where it's like, hey, let's just get big everywhere and then put board shorts on and
Exactly.
see what happens, right? Like it's crazy, but
The reality of the sport, everybody has their strength. Just everybody has it. Like you either improve your strengths dependent on the criteria for the division. So obviously, if I was in classic or open, my legs would have to improve. But for how they're indirectly judging men's physique right now, you still have to have them to a degree with balance the upper body. But I could afford to improve back. I could afford to improve upper chest. Just overall, just detail. You could always be more detailed, even if you're the most shredded, most peeled in the show, the hardest, whatever. you're still held to that standard. So coming in improved, more refined with more muscle maturity. I mean, it's, we're some of the younger guys in this sport too. So to have the muscle maturity at our age is still, it's still coming, dude. It's still going to be creeping up. It's still going to be improving, more years training, more time for that muscle to really just kind of settle. And as you can see here, like my back, you could really see like that lower. It's still a weaker point, but you could definitely see the improvements from just a week before or 2 weeks. It's because that glycogen really filled up the off season improvements that I made.
And that's why I kind of like what Erin did, where it's like he did like a pre-show to the big show, right? And I want to recreate that too, because I bet his body's about to start spiking. Like it's just
crazy.
Start like moving.
Speaking of it, me and Cuss just got off a freaking hour phone call, just going over the plan, man. And we gonna try to bring that white boy conditioning. Drew, we coming for that white boy conditioning, man.
That white boy
so that's something exciting to kind of hear how focused he is, because usually he's a little nervous going into big shows like this, So when he's calling me and talking to me about these plans, and I'm like, are you talking to me as a friend, or are you talking to me as a coach right now? So, and it was all coaching, So he's focused. He knew today I would be back home and back on my diet, and he sees the fire that's still in me, even though I was on like a mini vacation, bro. I was still hitting the gym and doing the fasted cardio in the morning. So the plan is in place. So it's exciting.
I'm just gonna say it. You already made it somewhat public.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Bro.
Don't even stop that.
Just answer this.
She bad. She bad.
She ain't ugly. She ain't ugly. But did she come out to Dubai?
Yeah.
Yeah, who was taking all his pictures? Come on now, Alex, get with the program. We saw that skyscraper background off that reflection.
You stupid.
He was like, and I was like, damn, I see it. And he goes, bottom right, check the tag. I'm like, because I didn't see the tag at first. I'm like,
nobody saw the tag.
I'm like, I see you.
Megan did. Megan's like,
hilarious. She always on it though.
Bro, I was pissed.
That's
my mom
funny.
texted me. She was like, Aaron got a guy or got a girl. I'm like, what?
Hold on, pause.
Yeah, pause. Hold on, backspace.
It's
but
crazy,
bro,
man.
I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, bro. These girls out here.
I mean, I've been through some relationships, and at the end of the day, it's you got to find your right person. At the end of the day, I mean, not saying no one. If you're in men's physique, you got a great physique, and if you look good, you look good, and I mean, we have the options to choose from, but when you sit back and find like what you truly been looking for, and then it kind of like slaps you in your face. Because I wasn't looking for nothing. Like, to be honest, I wasn't.
We talked about it. You weren't. None of y'all. Both of y'all aren't.
So when it happened, it just I mean,
I'm happy for y'all.
Oh shit, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? And bro, like to really complete the happiness, it's complete, bro. And that's all it's about. It's about being happy and living a great life, with somebody who can support you and do what they do for you. So
that's crazy, man. Listen, I got a massive song. I don't think I've ever heard you talk like this before.
No, man.
That's how you know. That's how you know. It's impact them on different levels. It's you could say it's.
I don't really talk too much about personal life, but it just feels different. So
I bet you were motivated a lot of times, like, because we talked about this, like sometimes certain girls in our lives can be deters. They take us away from the main focus, right? But then there's others who like keep us motivated and locked in.
Keep you on, yeah.
They're the ones where it's like, shape up, stop being a bitch, like put your suit and tie on. You know what I mean? And like, I know I'm blessed to have this one in my life. So, I'm happy to see you with the smile on your face here and the way you talk. I know Drew, he's trading in his OnlyFans girl. He got a real one now too. So it's like everything's coming full circle.
There was nothing to trade in.
Fair enough.
There was nothing to trade in. You ain't getting no extra value off of that.
You guys get a chance to watch Tampa this week?
I did.
Tampa was crazy.
Yeah.
I peeped it.
It was nuts. All right.
At first, I thought it was a Saturday show, but it was a Friday show. I'm like,
Yeah,
It's the same as Chicago. Yeah.
that definitely threw me off a bit. But I there was
okay, how
obviously
was bro? I was so, bro. When we did the last podcast and I was in Dubai, bro, I was so tired. Like, I was delusional.
I
How?
could only imagine how you felt because you're in a different country in a different time zone adapting. I'm waking up earlier than what I'm used to, getting off flights to make it. And then, Alex is also traveling on low sleep. So it's like we were all kind of off a little bit. We weren't
Bro,
in our
I
in
don't
our
even remember
habitats.
our predictions.
yeah, that's a great point. We got to find like a system that I don't know. We'll start like having Johnny or something write it down
I
as
think you had Ahmad Shakri winning, Banks.
Oh, I did. I did.
Um, you
I had
had Deke
Deke winning.
Walker,
Oh
and then
my,
I had Sadik based on, just improvements. And then you threw in Tyler being the judge, and we're kind of like, and it rained right because you look at Ahmad Shakri, he didn't come in off at all. He actually
nope.
came a
He was
little
good.
flatter. He looked better to me than Chicago, to be honest with you.
But
And
I
he
don't
grew
think
back a little
no, I
bit.
don't think his conditioning was on though.
Erin is 100% right. That's the first thing I was
His
gonna say.
conditioning looks totally different. Like,
It was
I don't
definitely
know
off.
what happened with the fill out,
Coming in flatter. I think he
but
purposely came in flatter to not look as big.
Yeah, like I guess the first thing I noticed was again he's big as shit, so he can come in flat and the muscle still stands out, but it looked like he
muscle's
didn't have a
crazy.
pop in his midsection anymore, and even that area, that's a muscle, right? So that could even be it not being filled out, and then especially when you're standing next to like Mario, who came in 5 pounds tighter than he did in Chicago, right?
You could see, and even in Mario's lower back, man, like I remember he had a little bit of lines from holding water in his lower back in Chicago. That
Yeah,
was gone here.
yeah, he looked really good. Um, but obviously the biggest shock of the entire show, at least in my estimation, it has to be Deke Walker being in the second call out.
That's what I was going to say.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can fast forward there, but I really am curious to know what you guys think. Like, and I was there in person, right? So I did see his physique, but from what you guys seen,
Okay, but how did it? Okay, but it's better for you to answer that because you've seen him in person where he was on, and you've seen him in person when he was
yeah,
at this Tampa Pro. So where would you rank his physique from
this
him
was
being crazy on
this was his
into
worst
this show?
this was his worst look of the year, and it was very apparent when he walked out. Deke has a wow
The
factor,
body, well, I'll tell you right now, the body's tired.
and
He
that's
didn't. He didn't pop. He's still conditioned. He's still there. He's still holding his,
and
but he just
and
didn't pop.
that's what it is. Like because when people ask like what was it, it's like he's not conditioned, right? He's not like off or not full. It's just his body looks tired, right? Like and that was the biggest thing. And keep in mind, I had Deke winning, so like I not only like him as a person, I love his physique. I just think that when you're doing so many shows, and this is by somebody who did the same thing. I did what 5 shows last year in 8 weeks, traveled to the West Coast twice, and then another country another time, right? That does a lot on your body, and not only that, mental. And that's even with me placing all the top placings you possibly can. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not easy. And then again, Ed's Gyno really did stick out, and that's something that I know Tyler does not play with. So it's just something that I think he needs to go to the drawing board, even if, for example, he wanted to get an early qualification. He can easily take 8, 9 weeks off, come back, do Hurricane or do one of these early ish shows. Because I don't think there's going to be
When's
many.
the cutoff though?
It's this cutoff just
San
says
Antonio.
yeah, San Antonio, September 21st.
I think it's 6 weeks this
Yeah.
Saturday.
There's only 4 shows left to qualify in the states, and that's including Mexico. So it's definitely getting to the end. But again, Deke, he's a dog, man. He just, I think this is like the
Oh,
definition.
all you gotta keep telling them, man, is keep fighting because they see him. I
Yeah,
just think he need to just take care of what he need to take care of and bring it back, and
he has. I've seen
he's
people.
been knocking at the door.
I've
Been
seen
knocking at
put it this way. I've seen people qualify for the Olympia this season who I believe Deke can beat.
oh,
So
Oh,
facts.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Facts.
He's beaten already a lot of guys that have qualified, including myself.
exactly.
So that's one of those things. But here's the inevitable truth of this. We all knew that it was going to come to a point to where he's not going to be in that top three. He's going to have an off show, and it's really going to just, okay, now I gotta hang it up. But I'm glad this happened because it gives him a break. and it's going to only fuel his fire even more because he's not the guy that's going to stop. If he was going to quit, he would have already, right? So he has that mentality that's going to keep going. And I know he's pissed off, and he's going to probably listen to this and, just, he's bummed out. You didn't accomplish what the goal was. But like I told him, you made a name for yourself this year. Like any show that like this show, I wouldn't even obviously.
Hey, let me give a shout out to the dude with the camo chulas on though. This bubbly dude on the left.
That big ass legs.
If when he put it together,
Erin, fix his posing. He looks good.
The posing. The posing. You gotta. Bruh, shoulder to waist ratio is stupid.
Yeah, he was nasty.
Not big arms. He got big legs, but
big ass.
He got a nice back.
He flows. He's got a good look.
Shout out to that dude, man.
I don't know too many guys in this lineup besides Deke and Darwin, but I mean these guys look good too, man. Like they keep adding that muscular maturity and conditioning. I mean, the guy all the way in the end, he needs a tan. But I mean, a lot of these guys, even in the end of the second call out, it's still a decent lineup.
No, it's not bad, man. And that's what I'm saying.
It's still a decent lineup, but it still doesn't look like Deke belonged in that call out. I think that was more or less, okay, this is your sign.
Okay, so who would you take out of this lineup and put Deke in?
I would have just had a 7-man call out.
You can't do.
I wouldn't have took anybody out, but I'm just saying I still would have had. He just didn't look right in that call out to me.
No, yeah,
like that's all I'm saying. Just to put him in that. Yeah. I don't disagree with the placements. I just think that he balanced. He would fit in more with this first call out, and they've done it before with 7, 8 in first call outs, especially with Chicago was like I think an 8-man first call out. And if they were going to do the top 4 anyways, I'm pretty confident the top 4 was on lock. I mean, these guys in the top 4. This was a conditioning show. I mean,
it was.
It was everybody was improved. I mean, everybody came in, looking really good. I think Ahmad Chakri played with a different peak just because he was fuller. Tyler was on the panel. You're going to get different results with different judges.
Yeah. Hey, go back. Cenat. You hearing me? Control your breathing.
Yes,
even in your back pose.
I told him this.
Even in your back pose.
I told him this backstage.
He started pinching again too.
Yeah.
In the back pose. And I helped him with his posing in person.
Like, look, watch him start
open up more.
Watch him start. Look at his stomach.
Oh wow. I didn't even notice that. I was telling him
it's a good eye.
Oh shit.
You gotta control that. You have to control that.
So what do you think that's from, Erin? Do you think it's from over pumping backstage? Do you think it's just from excitement? Do you think it's a mixture of everything?
Over pumping. Again, you got to understand he's a younger guy. He's fresh in the league. Yeah, he's probably been on stage with the IFBB Pro Elite, but this is a whole nother level of competition. So his nerves, his anxiety, it's probably everywhere. And plus the pump up, you know what I mean? He could have been tired, but that right there, bro, I seen that instantly. Like
that's a good eye, bro.
That can't happen. That cannot happen.
It's part of the look. It's you get pictures. Pictures don't tell the whole story. You got to watch the videos.
Right. Because guess what? To be honest, he could have won this show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I talked to
I think they were comparing him.
They were. I thought
and I think it did come down to, I mean, Mehdi was a fucking statue, bro. Shout out to Mehdi. We'll get there, but Mehdi.
Yeah, shout out to Mehdi. Mehdi sent me a message.
That's how you pose, being a professional like that. He hit that back pose, he got right into it, and he didn't move. He made space. He made space too. He didn't step forward or too far back. He just made space, and he didn't have to elbow anybody. He didn't have to move around and do all that fidgeting around. Like, he stuck it and looked very smooth and gradual. And that's what the Pro League represents. These guys that come on stage to display a professional look, not only a physique, but the way that you pose is part of that.
This is the definition of a rookie versus a veteran, right? Because Cenat has a very strong look, bro. Because if he can hold it tight, notice how he's still breathing through his midsection.
Yeah, you can see how it's letting go. I mean, at that point, he's so peeled, he probably doesn't have to squeeze out in his abs. But when he's going in and out, in and out, in and out, his chest, everything's moving. Everything looks like it's fidgeting around, and he's not able to really lock in his poses.
Because I think Cenat won from the back, even though I don't think that it was a knockout punch compared to Mehdi's. I think he won from the back, and I think Mehdi separated himself from the front. Both have really good conditioning. I just think that Again, came down to controlling what you can control and controlling your variables on stage. But let's run through this briefly. I want to give these guys their flowers, right? First, we have Ahmad. I believe he came in sixth place. We briefly spoke about it. He looked, freak factor walking out. He's a big dude, the most muscle in the first call out, let alone the first or in the entire show. He just was off. I think, like he said, they maybe try to come in a little flatter to, have that a little less, mass look to his frame. And I think that kind of took away from his midsection and overall detail. That's the biggest thing. He brought a crazy amount of detail. And like Erin said, who you stand in front of is a big difference because Tyler is somebody who likes streamlined men's physique looks. Meanwhile, there might be somebody who, Steve, who's generally known for a guy who likes more size. He judged Chicago. So again, I do believe that he had a crazy good physique. He's actually jumping into Texas, so I'm sure he's going to fine tune and then go, find that happy balance or happy medium between the two. And then fifth place here we have Sadik. Now, again, this one's weird. He was certainly improved from Chicago. It was very clear. The biggest thing that I noticed when I saw him in person, I don't think he was as full as he needed to be in order to maximize his frame and added tissue. And the same thing, man, the detail, like the midsection detail.
No, that's not even it, bro.
What do you see?
Go back. Go back. Go back to the front. Look at Sadik versus everybody else. Who looks like a classic physique competitor?
That's fair, especially when you look at the lower body.
Bro, we talking about, don't get me wrong, Sadik is a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal representative for men's physique. But the way Tyler and Steve and Sandy and Bill and the Prez, everybody, what they're doing with men's physique, Sadik is just out of place.
On the verge, yeah. He's on the verge of it.
So
he just needs
it's
to go
like the thing is, everybody keeps saying, oh, Sadik improved, Sadik improved. No, Sadik didn't improve. He brought his classic physique look back.
That's a good
when
point.
when he went to classic, that's how he looked.
He is the biggest guy on stage. And it's where his size is as well.
You think he's bigger than Ahmad?
I think Ahmad's shorter and more of a like Sadik is wider clavicularly and bigger legs and just overall a bigger guy. Sadik is overall a bigger guy as far as balance. Ahmad is bigger up top, but he's also more narrow. I think he has more chest than Sadik, but if you break down the whole silhouette and just size pound for pound, Sadik is bigger.
Bigger.
I want to show you guys a clip.
Look at the calves. Look at the quads. Look at the sweep.
Bro. And that's what they look at. Because Ahmad Chakri couldn't go to Classic. He doesn't have the legs. So I think he does fit men's physique better than Sadik does, especially when Sadik has been an Olympian in Classic Physique. You know what I'm saying? He's growing. He's a hyper responder. He said
seventh at the Olympia Classic. Like, we can't forget that, right? Obviously, it was a different time, but
y'all got to understand, y'all don't think them judges are still judging off of what he did in Classic?
Yeah, it's based on potential. They've seen him bigger, they've seen him better, where his shape strives, and I think it is more classic. I mean, he does back double. You see him on Instagram when he poses his side chest, front double bicep. Like, it flows a lot better than his men's physique look. His men's physique look is still great, but his classic physique look is just better. And Sadik isn't bad. He's not a bad competitor in men's physique. There's just guys that fit men's physique better than him.
That's
right.
The sport has changed so much.
And you heard him talk about it back after in one of his videos after Chicago, where it's like these guys are on stage like twisting so much and manipulating their waistline. It just sounds like somebody who didn't know much about what modern men's physique is. I think he was still stuck back in,
on where he was placing when he was an elite level in men's physique. Yes.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, that's what they're supposed to do, right? Like, look at Mehdi, like he's twisting, he's manipulating his waistline, right? Look at Mario, same thing, right? Like, these guys are doing this, but this is what he just said in his
I'm definitely not doing men's physique anymore because I'm just not into that look. I'm not into the way it felt. I'm not into the way the weight cut went. I'm not into the look anymore. So I might be going all Classic next year in March, but we'll see.
As men's physique, or
I don't know. Right now, I'm going back. I'm just going to put on mad muscle tissue.
Hey, Sadiq, I'm digging the hat. Where you get the hat from, dude? You know, I'm a hat guy.
If y'all don't follow or subscribe to Sadiq's YouTube, y'all got to do it, man. He puts out quality ass videos. But again,
Hey, dude, look, that boy got 406,000 subscribers.
yeah.
The
And
amount of times he talked about his libido during that video just made me crack up, bro.
yeah,
He's a funny dude. You could tell he's from New York. He says it how it is, and it's not for the sensitive. It's not for the sensitive. His channel, like he's a cool, humble guy. He makes time for everybody seeing in his videos, and he just says it how it is. And he's always been a really stand up guy in the sport. And I think that his body is just gonna, like, he doesn't want to make that weight cut anymore. Like you said, he doesn't like the way that he feels. Like if he can grow, and we know he can put it all together for Classic Physique, he still can be more successful in Classic Physique, because right now he's not going to be able to train how he's training right now. He's not going to be able to make this cap next year, even if he tried to improve on the areas he needed to. He's not that anymore.
If you really think about it, Classic Physique is not deep. The top 10 are like when you think of Classic Physique, like, and there's men's physique, like anybody can beat anybody. Like when there's like Classic Physique, there's like 10 guys who are like those guys, right? And then there's like another tier where it's like,
no, there's not 10 guys that can beat
Sadik, or in general.
And then Classic, there's not 10 guys in Classic that anybody can win.
I'm just saying, like, there's a big difference between like the first tier of 10 compared to maybe everybody else, right? Like,
yeah,
that's
I think what Alex is trying to say, like that top 10 is more on lock than men's physique is more, it shifts more at the Olympia level. Like the top 10 in Classic Physique has been more consistent than the top 10 in men's physique.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So Sadik could easily, work his way into a upper tier of the second look, especially if he's hitting, he still has like 10 pounds to add for his.
He could also hide that core in a lot of poses, like his side poses with how thick he is and how good his arms are and his legs. He could hide a lot of his weaknesses in men's physique. When you look at men's physique, where do your eyes go? Chest and core. And both of them, I would say, are his weakest muscle groups, right? His chest looks really flat, but he has to come in flat because if he's full, his abs disappear. So he has to find that median, especially for men's physique. But I think all his other poses, his back double bicep, people don't understand how improved his back pose came up for just the men's physique pose. Yeah, sure. Sadik's back has improved so much, and everybody wanted to hate on his core, and nobody gave him props for what he actually did improve on for taking the 1.5 2 years off. So I do want to give Sadik a shout out just for his back improvement, because you could even see it here. I mean, his back used to be a really weak point, just like myself. His lower was never really super crisp. He didn't have that density, but now he's actually holding his own in the back pose.
Absolutely. And not to mention, he supports the channel too, which is dope. He was talking about
I saw that little snippet that you had on the thing. That was super sick. We were actually able to talk at Chicago too.
But good guy, man. So I'm asking you guys, what would you do if you're Sadik, right? He's obviously cemented his legacy. He is won every big show.
Go to Classic. Take an off season, go to Classic, and talk to Steve.
Yeah, but does he retire at his age, or does he go to Classic? He has nothing to retire.
Bro, they're retired. There's nothing else for him to do. He's been a great at Classic. He's been a great in men's physique.
But if you watch his videos, he loves it. I think it's for himself, bro. I think it's really for himself and for his kid.
I get it. But bro, you got kids. Bro, trust me, when I'm done, y'all not gonna fucking see me. I'm telling you. I'm gone.
But your resume is different than Sadik's, though. You've won the Olympia. You've accomplished a lot. He's accomplished a lot of pro wins in men's physique. He's never won the title. He's never brought his absolutely best look.
Like, do you really think he's going to ever get close to winning a Mr. Olympia?
No, but I think he wants to get closer to bringing his best to where he's satisfied to hang it up. I think a lot of guys want to get to a point in their career to where they're like, you know what, this was my all-time best. And then
you just heard the man. I'm done with men's physique. It's a wrap.
Because his body isn't men's physique no more. Like he still looks better than his previous looks in men's physique. The difference is the sport has just changed so much. The competitive level right now in men's physique kills 2017, 2018, 2016. I don't even consider 2016 really men's physique though, based on how it's going now. Like it's a whole different era. But how he looks now, man, he still has time to, especially Classic. He loves Classic. He loves competing. He loves to get back.
How old is Sadik?
I don't know, and I don't want to guess, but I would say he's not as young as me or Alex. He's definitely, I would say, probably 10 years above us. I would say just based on how long he's been in the sport.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't want to guess. I wouldn't know. I would say
his age, and I'm gonna tell you right
36,
now what he should
35, 36.
37.
I'm gonna guess. Oh wow.
Yeah. You know
I'll be
Ryan Terry's only
37 next
34.
Ryan Terry's 34.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Holy shit.
Bro, you gotta
Well,
understand these guys started when they were young.
Yeah.
He's his 10th Olympia, so he's 24 at his first Olympia. I mean, yeah, that's true. You don't realize how fast time went by, but
We'll say this, man. Sadik, forever, no matter what he does, he's a legend. And
He
that's the thing. He has nothing to prove. Like if he's doing this just, to get peeled, bring in business, grow businesses, that's one thing. Just, one thing I'll say is, right, like Erin said, he has kids, prioritize the longevity after this, because no matter what, he walks around any bodybuilding community, he's going to be.
Because, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna feel lovely to wake up and say, kids, let's go have breakfast.
Yes,
Kids,
bro.
I don't want to be in that damn bodybuilding routine for no.
You know
Bro,
what's crazy, bro?
I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all got 4 more years of me, and if I win a couple more, I win a couple more. If I don't, I don't. But I'm gone.
Bro, you won it. You won that one though, right? You won the one that everybody can sleep at night after. If you told people right now, like majority of people in men's physique, hey, if you can win the Olympia this year, but you would be forced to retire after, a lot of them like, yeah, I'll do it. Because it's much different. They're not in it just for, I'm not gonna say the love of it. Of course, if you do this shit, you gotta fucking love it. But they get that one accolade, I'm fucking done. Like I'm good. I can build a business off that.
And that's crazy because that you say that you win that one. Like in America, that one don't mean shit.
Yeah.
You travel the world, that one mean everything.
Mm-hmm.
Indian culture to the Middle East. Bro.
Yeah.
I said, go back to the Dubai. Buddy told me, he said, bro, all you need is one. All you need is one, Aaron. Aaron, you got a Mr. Olympia, bro. You don't have to do nothing else. You can come over here and make $100,000 in a month, and that's it. Just doing nothing. I said,
yo, imagine all of us doing an international show. Bro, we would fucking it would be a movie. That's
why we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to plan it. But here, to go back to Sadik real quick, and I just want to add this in before I forget, and then we'll move on. The biggest takeaway from watching his videos and also being a fan of him and talking to him in person is how much he devotes everything he does for himself, obviously, but also to his fans. Like when he makes sure that when he's at shows, he's giving back to everybody. He absolutely loves this. And that is still self-validation. When I go into shows and people are like, hey man, you motivate me, you inspire me, you watch me on Men's Physique Radio, it makes me never want to stop competing. Even if I did win Mr. Olympia, even if I did move up, it's just knowing that you're making a difference in the sport and being around it and loving it. That's what really motivates me to go to these shows, even as, a fan. Like this weekend, I'm doing commentary for the Texas Pro. I have Sheila Brown flying me out to Texas. So I'm going to be doing commentary live. I absolutely love it. And I'm not even competing in the show, but I'm saying if Sadik doesn't do this, maybe he could, take a step back and maybe get in a commentary. I mean, he's always doing YouTube videos and things like that. Think about, with all his followers and think about sponsoring shows or having his own show or things like that. I know Mark Anthony has his own show, even though he's not active anymore. Like there's a lot that Sadik can do to benefit. And, he's passionate about this shit. It reminds me a lot about myself. And he was the first pro
Sadik would be one of those
up.
guys that could have his own show.
Yeah.
Like,
Good. Absolutely.
The Sadik Classic or something, you know what I mean? But to be honest, all he has to do is partner with Steve Weinberg. I mean, bro, they're
in New York together.
It's still a business and they know business. They got the followers and, they both love the sport. So it becomes easy. It's not a job at that point. Look at it. Look, he just got 6th place or 5th place, excuse me. And he's given back to everybody. Like nobody pays you to do this. You're paying to go to a show. People think that me, Alex, and Erin, like a lot of these promoters, like when we're going to shows, they ask us as favors. We might not be getting a paycheck. I'm not getting a paycheck when I'm going to national level shows. When I go because I love it. I love to interact with people. And, even if I go to a show and I don't win, giving back is the biggest thing that I could do, because when I was younger, getting involved in the sport, and I might, I would always watch Andre compete, I watched Sadik compete, and going to these shows and seeing it, it motivated me that much more to see these guys, even if they didn't win. And they weren't upset that they didn't win. They just, were on to the next one. And I always told myself when I get to that level, I'm always going to make time for the future, because you don't know, you might meet somebody, and how cool would it be to get a picture with a kid who's like, I don't know, 15 at the time, and then you're on stage at the Olympia 10 years later and he's right next to you. Like you never know who you can be talking to. It could be a younger version of yourself, pretty much, to where they just, and their interaction with you could pretty much be their difference in how they actually moved up.
Absolutely, man.
That's how I look at stuff like this, man. Like you never know. There could be another EB on the way, another Aaron Banks that he gets his pro card and then he jumps right into a show. He qualifies, and there might, you know what I'm saying? But how cool would that be to have that person be like, hey, you inspired me to do this?
I mean, listen, I said this before and I said it publicly, and I'll say it here again. Like when Erin came up to me after New York, keep in mind, I am a fan now. This is why I'm able to do this stuff, analyze physiques, and turn off my competitive hat, or take off my competitive hat to be unbiased regarding this stuff. So when Erin came up to me, like that's somebody who I looked up to because we have so many similarities, right? And I think that's how you first start finding like people to attach yourself to, because like he's at a top level and I kind of have similar things that he does. So like, I want to see what he does and how he got there. So when he came up to me and said what he said after the New York Pro, for me, that was just simple motivation. And bro, when I mean motivation, I mean 2 weeks later, kicked the door in at Miami, punched my ticket, right? And everything just started to pile up. And it's something as simple as words, right? Like, and
you never know. You never know how impactful you are. And people don't understand how impactful words are. It can be 2 words. 2.
That's it, bro.
You have a day. 3 words.
Yeah.
It's who it comes from. Anybody could give compliments, but here's the thing. Erin isn't going to tell you look good unless you look good. And that's the same thing with me. I'm not just telling people, hey, listen, you look great. Like, people that I'm around the sport all the time. It's very rare that I get impressed. And when I am impressed, I make sure that I go out of my way to tell these people, because I think that them following Men's Physique Radio, and obviously with who I am in the sport and how I've kind of made a name for myself competing, it's like it hits different than your mom giving you a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's how I thought that Alex kind of thought when Erin gave him a compliment after New York, like, oh wow, like this dude just, he's a top level guy and he's seeing something in me. So he played a role potentially in that victory that you got in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm telling you, like
that energy travels. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. It's not just a quote. It's not just cliche. That energy travels.
Momentum is real. If I stepped off stage and Erin was like, oh, bro, you didn't look that good. Like, you need to be better.
You're like, wow, this guy's a dick.
I would have deflated you, and you probably wouldn't have went into that Miami show as confident as you were. Bro,
and he probably wouldn't like you. This guy's a dick.
I will say this. Erin was going through ebbs and flows of people loving him or hating him. I never was one of those people who was like, he's just an asshole. Like,
I agreed with a lot of the shit he said, to be honest with you.
Well, because he never was an asshole to me. You know what I mean?
Face value. Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not gonna hate somebody like just because other people see him a certain way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And that was the thing. Like, if he came to me and was like being a dick, I remember he was analyzing my physique one time, and he was like, he needs a lot more time before he's compared to me. And I was like, I mean, I qualified for the Olympia one time, and I'm now, like, I don't deserve to be qualified in that conversation yet. It makes me want to work harder. Don't get me fucking wrong, but I think that's another reason why we can do this. Like, and I think people are uber competitive, and I love that shit, right? But it's also, you have to be realistic to a point. But because if you
that's the key word.
Like, if you aren't realistic, then how can you do what we do? Like, how can you sit there and analyze and give critiques and be honest? I'm telling, like, the world knows I wouldn't be the best in the world. I speak it all the time. And that means I have to go through Drew. It means I have to go through Erin. But I also have to understand there's things that I need to do in order to get there. So I can't be honest with myself here. I'm just setting myself up for failure. But
exactly.
Nonetheless, you just continue to trust in the work. All right, let's quickly run through these guys. I want to make sure I give them their just due. Sadik came in, and then we have Mario Stewart, who came in 4th. Dramatically improved. He got 5 pounds tighter. Again, think he needs to fine tune his posing a little bit. I loved his Instagram post that he made about Men's Physique Radio, how, he took some of the things that we said, because his posing definitely improved, and he definitely was sharper. The cool thing about his look is he doesn't have a freak factor, right? He doesn't have anything that's dramatically stands out compared to everybody else, but it's very clean. It's streamlined. it's men's physique. It's
It's
polished.
a pretty
He's complete.
I
He's
say
complete.
this a lot.
Exactly.
It's a pretty physique. There's
That's what
some
they
people
want.
who have that freak factor and got all that muscle and veins and all that shit. But then you also have those pretty physiques that just stand out.
Yeah. And he is somebody who over time is going to be consistently in top 3 conversations. He needs to continue to add a little bit of depth to his chest, right? I think we can always say add a little bit more to your back, but he's a great back already, right? And be cognizant, Mario. Make sure you don't flex your chest in your front shot. You don't want you to see your chest.
Well, I was going to say I did the exact same. His front pose looks a lot very similar to mine. The way that I was posing with that arm out
and
and
close
then
your
pushing
hand.
that hand on hip. It's making that chest look tensed. And
Yes.
it's actually making him look more narrow. If he relaxed it, that shoulder's going to actually pop more. It's going to make that chest look fuller, especially if you're pumped up. All that blood's going to be in there. It's going to sit there. And I mean, that's pretty much it.
And close your hand in your
seems
front shot. Close your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, he held his poses, man. His core stayed tight. You know, he got in that pose. I mean, he was.
You know why I was mad at the Dubai Pro Show?
Who?
Bro, I pumped up for 1 minute.
Really?
I couldn't even pump up.
Well, it didn't affect you.
I couldn't even pump up.
Why? Wait, I'm confused.
I mean, that's for once the show started on time.
Fair
I
enough.
wouldn't have guessed though, because as round as you were, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed
I was hell around, but I was just trying to hit as many push-ups as I could. I got in a couple little back rows to see get the back going, but yeah, it was just push-ups.
Yeah, I know we're jumping around a little bit, but I actually want to show something because this Instagram account, Anabolic Space, they put up a really good post about your difference in your physique. And bro, you definitely grew.
So for the guys who say Erin didn't improve,
like
look very closely and put your glasses on and watch this video.
Look at his chest.
Crazy.
So like that was the biggest thing that I noticed. And like,
you were still complete on the left. Like you're bigger now. I think that you still were a little bit harder at the Olympia, but you're bigger now. You add the density. Yeah, you added more density, so you get that same crisp look, bro.
Yeah,
you're gonna even show more of the size that you made. It's gonna look like you went in that hyperbolic time chamber.
Dude, yeah, like look at the chest, man. It's like the big, like that's where I was like, holy shit. That's where I noticed the biggest difference. So there's no when you just look at the left compared to the right, you can see more gaps in the left compared to the right. Like that's the biggest thing. Like there's more, like there's less.
You looked a little bit more slender on the left to where there's a few things that didn't look as like your arms came up a lot more too.
A lot.
Look at your arms, like everything, even from the back, the way that your shoulders pop even more, but it flows in your back width.
Damn.
The width. Yeah. Like once you start breaking it down and looking at it, the more you watch the video, the more you're going to see it.
This video I messed up even on my back pose. You see how like thick my back was in that?
When you put your hand,
it was spaced out. I was overspreading my back pose.
Yeah, try to get wide.
So that's what me and Cuts.
You didn't hit your sweet spot. So if you pose too much, it just flattens it out. But if you pose a little, it's not going to show your width. But you hit it better in the comparisons.
Yeah. All right. Just wanted to show that because I thought that was a pretty cool breakdown. But maybe we got to post that on our Instagram page. But all right. 4th place, Mario. You look great, brother. Congratulations. You're doing Texas. Excited to see what you bring there. Drew will be live in person seeing it. So it's going to be fun. So keep us updated there, Drew. And then 3rd place. All right. Pooh. He looks even better in person, man. Like he really, really does. You know,
his updates on his Instagram look crazy as hell.
He's dry, dude. He's dry.
They do. The thing is, he's not a tall guy. Like I don't know why I thought he was a taller, but like
because he's proportionate. So when you see him in pictures by himself,
I've now just noticed ain't nobody fucking tall in this damn.
No, dead ass, bro.
See, Mario Stewart's pretty, like he's taller than I thought. He's 5'10" or 5'11".
Ray was the only dude that I was like, God damn, this boy tall. But bro, when I thought like Abasai was tall, I thought
Cenat was tall.
Bro, I thought all these dudes was tall.
So did I, because his limbs, Abasai the same way. Like their limbs are longer, and they just are really aesthetic. So they appear in pictures like they're taller, and they're not.
Like actually being 6 foot. Like I'm 6'2". Like actually being 6 foot is like kind of like it's going to separate you. Like you have a chance.
So Alex, a few people messaged me and they watched the interview with you and Sadik backstage at Tampa. They didn't realize how big you were.
Yeah.
Because some of them know Sadik from the gym, Bev's gym, and they're just like, yeah, Sadik's considered a big men's physique guy, just, for height as well. But you, for example, how tall you are, people don't understand. People think that I'm short because of our picture at Optimum. They think I'm like 5'6" and you're like 5'10". And I'm like, so when people see me in person, they're like, dude, you're so much taller in person. I'm like, well, what did you think? Well, Alex looks like 6'5". And I'm like, Alex is 6'2", but he poses like he's 6'5". So he looks so much even bigger. And then having that density that you have, it separates you.
Bro, the funniest shit ever was because I wasn't even supposed to walk out with I think it was the second group call out. And when we did the first call outs, bro, when I walked out and stood next to the guy who was literally like 5'3", people were like, bro, you made him look
I
tiny.
saw it. It was on the end. It was on the end, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that. And then somebody took the picture to where even the angle was in your favor and it looked like your shoulder was over his head. I'm like, Jesus. Bro, if somebody didn't know your height, they would probably think you're 6'6", 6'5".
Yeah. I mean, that's why we say, and this is why we say, like, taller guys have an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is if they maximize their structure, it can be scary because you
can't keep up with the frame. You can't keep up. Like, you could have two guys that are wide structurally, but the taller guy is always going to take up more stage space, therefore drawing the judge's eyes to them.
Exactly.
It's always going to be that way. Like, if I had the same exact structure as Erin and I was next to him on stage, but at my height, it's going to go to him.
Yeah.
It's just because he takes up more, he's more emphasis on what I would be. You know what I'm saying?
100%. But real quick, Pooh, again, looked really good. The thing is, I didn't realize how wide he is. When he opens up and hit his front shot, like his lats are so sweeping that it just drew you in. Him placing third here, like, that's a
big statement. Yeah.
Like, and we'll talk about Pacific USA's coming up here. I think that he could do it, man. Like, he's going to be going against some good guys, but I think he could do it because he's getting better and better at each show. Him and Mike found a recipe. He's complete front to back. He actually fills out his frame, right? He doesn't continue to do so, but when I mean, like, he's so wide that I thought that he would be, flatter through the chest. He's really not. He just needs to continue to do what he's doing, man. I'm really excited to see what he does.
Just a darker color,
darker tan. Yeah. Yep. And get your face spray tan, like just one layer over top.
And don't do the overhead abdominal in the transition. I know some people want to show it. I just think that
it's hard to say that
getting into the pose, that's Ryan Terry though. Like even Ryan Terry, like, because of him trademarking it, now other people are doing it. Certain people just shouldn't. And I think Pooh has great abs, but I think that if it's coming down to one or two and they're splitting hairs, if he's the last one in that pose because he's doing that stuff, I think that it could come down to him losing a show over it. That's why I say that.
I always say this too, because I hate when I see people do the peekaboo with no obliques. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
Bruh, it's the worst shit ever.
I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're literally
what are you showing? What are you showing?
You're exposing yourself. Like,
or the Ventura step to where it's supposed to show taper, full chest, shoulders, and it's the guy that doesn't have the shoulders and has a flat chest and no obliques that's showing, like, here, I'm going to show you all my weak points in one pose. Like, that's why it's good to have a posing coach, because if you have a weaker physique, you could pose in a way that's going to complement your strengths instead of weaknesses. That's why a lot of guys that don't look like they deserve to win a show end up doing, because they're perfecting their poses to expose their strengths, not their weaknesses. There's a lot of guys that, especially at local shows, like me being a coach for more local level shows in my area and like online, like, there's a lot of guys that don't necessarily have the best structures, but I could pose and tweak them to appear like they have the best structure, and they end up winning shows with guys who actually have overall better physiques.
Presentation is half this game, man. Like, you might not have the smallest waist, but if you can pose like you do, manipulation, then you will.
I would say presentation is all of the game, because you could have Ryan Terry on stage or Aaron Banks on stage. If Aaron hit that Superman pose, he ain't winning Olympia. I don't care how good he looks, but if he hits a Superman, he's not winning Olympia.
I'm hitting it.
I know your ass is.
We'll hit it off stage for a group photo, not on stage.
Yeah, we'll fuck around. Yeah. I'm bringing you guys all syrup to the Olympia. That's what we got to do. We got to go to IHOP after, like, make some syrup content. But
Oh
all right,
man.
real quick, let's break down the top two. Drew, what do you see? Like, because being front row, I definitely saw some things, but obviously we saw them moving around. But like, could this have went any way? Do you think the judges got it right? Where's your head at?
I think the judges got it right. Mehdi posed a lot better to just appeal to his physique. I think structurally, Ricardo is wider. They both have structural positives and negatives. So, for example, Ricardo doesn't have the best abdominal structure. It looks like he has a 4-pack. He's peeled beyond belief, but he has a shorter torso and a wide frame. So it makes him look like he has more gaps in his physique next to Mehdi. So, for example, Mehdi has that lower lat that goes all the way down. Ricardo has higher lats. So it actually makes Mehdi look wider in this comparison from the back. So Ricardo has really dominant shoulders. If you're going to break down each individual muscle, like each has their own. But overall, as far as flow, overall control, core, conditioning, everything, Mehdi just looks. This is the best I ever seen Mehdi, to be completely honest with you. And I know I didn't have him in the top 5. I talked to him the other day. Mehdi, I love you, brother. Well-deserved Tampa Pro champ. Like, I think that this was very validated with a perfect score. I think Ricardo still has things that he needs to improve on going into future shows. He still needs to improve his posing. He needs to reset. Like Erin talked about, breathing. There's a lot of things that go into this. I don't think Ricardo has nailed his 100% presentation yet. I think his posing has improved night and day from when he did Miami and Mile High, but compared to where he is, I think Ricardo deserved a second place. I think that as far as being next to Boo, Ricardo is taller, wider. I think he had slighter, better conditioning, more taper. Like he just has a more polished look to me. And that's just comparing the difference between 1, 2, and 3 to see where they all are. I think the judges had it right. I know Tyler likes Ricardo's look, but I think it's coming down to potential because Ricardo could obviously be a lot better. If Erin's breaking down small things like breathing, you know that. If we're looking at it on a monitor and notice it, think about what Tyler's noticing in person.
Does he remind you of
get what I'm saying? As far as I don't think Corey Morris is more of a caricature, bubblier frame. I think Ricardo doesn't have a bubbly chest like Corey Morris. Proportion wise, they're similar and different. I wouldn't say that they're like as much as people say, I don't agree with it being that close as a similarity, but they have some similarities as far as like a shoulder to waist ratio, but it's not what you think. They got two different
similarity at all. Hell no.
I just think I think that people compare them because they both have higher lat insertions.
I think it's because of the waist. I think they just have really small waists, like and just wide clavicles. But Corey's also, I think, 4 or 5 inches taller.
Corey waist is way smaller.
Bro, Corey's waist don't make sense, bro. That's what I'm saying. He literally looks like a cartoon character.
Corey at last year's Olympia, seeing him in person was one of the most impressive physiques I've ever seen.
Yeah, because
like I was seeing him pose in front of cuts. Me and Daniel Ammons are like, if this ain't fucking it, then we're gonna throw a riot here because he looked fucking crazy. And Erin, I know, like he came out just with a sweatshirt on right from the hotel room, came downstairs, whipped it off. He looked like he just hit 100 push-ups. Yeah. He had veins in places everywhere. Like he just was that guy that was already peaked without a pump, and he just looked crazy.
The best chance to make the highest. Okay, outside of like Ali Bilal placed 16th, I think Corey Morris has the highest chance to be in that top 3.
Why do you think Corey is out of the top 3, Erin?
Oh,
I'm going to ask you both. I want to hear Erin's response first.
Me personally, I don't know. I know they say things that he has and he doesn't have, and what he needs to improve on, what he needs to downsize. But I thought Corey was going to be in the mix last year.
So did I.
I agree.
When I saw him walk
out, I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is flow. Like
I can't pinpoint it. But he has a nice flow, bro. He won in front of he won big shows.
I'm not saying he doesn't have good flow. What I'm saying is like flow compared to the guys who are in that conversation. Like
as if his waist is too small.
Bro, and that's what I'm saying. It's like proportional. He is like
a caricature. Like he has the freakiest. Do they want freaky or they want more mainstream? Because he's still men's physique all day. But when I think of men's physique, I mean, he's right up there with the top 3 in my opinion.
Yeah, like again, like we all pose to manipulate our waist to make it look as small as possible, right? Like, he doesn't even need to do that. Like he's somebody. Like it's just I don't like saying too small of a waist because it doesn't even sound right saying. It's just I think the way that other people's bodies flow, where it's like waistline into lats, right, into the shoulders, and then filling out that frame in a way that's more streamlined.
Because he can't improve anything. I can't break down
Yeah.
one singular muscle group that lags,
Nope.
shoulders, chest, back, top to bottom. Like
He's
conditioning. There's
but
nothing
he has to
to improve.
continue to downsize and mainstream his arms and his shoulders, because that's one thing that I would say that stands out. Like, he don't call himself the Delt King for no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
Them motherfucking delts is crazy as hell, boy.
Shit.
But the thing is like, how much can you downsize?
Yep.
Like, really, when you're prepping, you're pushing your body to a limit. Like, there's always going to be that secondary muscles that touch the front delt, or like, it's
muscle density is hard to downsize, especially if you've been doing this for a long time.
Downsize that.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, like,
these shits aren't going
anywhere. I thought Corey was definitely in the mix. Like bro, definitely. Like, look at that shit. That shit was crazy.
That shit don't make any sense.
Texas, yeah.
This was my favorite look of his of all time.
Yeah.
Which one was this? Pittsburgh?
It was Texas. Battle of Texas, right?
No, I like it. Pittsburgh look. I don't give a damn what y'all say.
Pittsburgh when he beat Ryan Terry?
Yeah.
That Pittsburgh shit was hitting.
I think this was just the lighting in the hotel room. I just always remember this video as being his most viral video. But I agree with the Pittsburgh look. I even think last year's Olympia. I think last year's Olympia was crazy. With the black shorts too. I like the black shorts on him too.
I like the black and yellow. Like it's just
shorts play a big role. You start doing white shorts. Like I always noticed when I did white shorts, how much, it just made me look washed out on stage.
We both did that. We did that on an Optimal. We were like, yeah.
The contrast of it.
But to be honest, there's no way he can downsize his fucking shoulders and arms and have that chest. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
And there's nothing. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because you need.
There's nothing he can do. So that shit would look so weird if he kept downsizing his arms, but his chest was that full. Corey got a full ass chest.
I'm jealous, and he's tall too. How tall is Corey?
Corey
about 6'2", 6'1".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so this is the definition of like being tall, having a big structure, and feeling it out.
Yeah, he looks dope, man. I've always been impressed by his look. I was always a fan of him too. Always a fan of his look.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what he does this year, man. I think a lot of people are kind of waiting for this physique to get more recognition.
Yeah.
And I remember after the Olympia last year, he was pretty pissed off when I was speaking with him. And I'm sure that only fueled him to continue. But all right.
Because he knew what he was bringing, and he saw these other guys. And sometimes pictures you look at them, and I mean, you could disagree, but it's almost like sometimes you're just like, when you're on. You know what I'm saying?
He was on.
Hey, this show shocked me here.
All right. Let's run through this one briefly. There wasn't tons of guys in this show, but I want to make sure that we give them their flowers. Coming in at 6, we have Barack King. He is somebody who was known last season for running the gauntlet. I think he did like 9-10 shows just one season, and he jumped, from the States to.
He was an Olympian in 2022, and I think he did like 12 or 13 shows and got in on points. And he was always consistently in that top 6, and he still is now. I just think that he's there. I think it's coming down to shape that's not pushing him to the absolute best he could be. But I think he looks dope. I mean, it's deserving of the 6th place.
Yeah. And then 5th place, we got, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Ami. Yeah, I think
my dog competed. He competed with me in Dubai.
Okay.
He works with cuts.
He works with cuts. He looks good. I know they were hinting at this as more like a redemption show for him to get back in that first call out. So I'm happy to see that he's back there. I remember seeing his photos from like the crowd. I just remember I was like, damn, dude got crazy structure. He looks good. Again, back in the first call out. What do you guys think that he needs to do to continue to improve?
Conditioning,
detail.
Conditioning back, yeah.
The shape is there. He looks like a big dude too. It's just going to come down to conditioning.
That boy ain't big.
He looks big.
Sorry, Omni.
All right, 4th place.
Look how full he looks.
Hey, well, let me just say this, man. Like, I respect that man so much because, bro, when I got to Dubai, I needed some shit. Bro drove 30 minutes from his house to
Damn.
come like
Again,
again, it's just how they are out there, you know, and the hospitality and everything is just second to none. So appreciate you, my guy. Keep pushing it.
and then we got fourth place. We got Austin Whitty.
This was the shock of the show, and not by the placing, but I had him higher.
I had him higher too.
I had him higher. I think this was his best look. I think that the way that we always talked about covering him with his shape, how he does have a bigger waist. It just came down to how he angled it and how he held his poses, and also his back. You could see how much tighter he got to where that lower back starting to pop through too. I had him fighting for second, to be completely honest with you.
I 100% had him in third place. I think he had the second best front shot in the show. So I'm not exactly sure. I know his back wasn't there, but if you look at fourth place back compared to third place back, I mean, you can argue that
This wasn't a back show either. So I think the front shot is where I have him being second because he had the second best front pose.
But you got to understand what they're looking at when you do turn to that back pose. He's really narrow in the back.
Yeah, but so is third. Like, and that's the thing. Like, there's no question he needs to improve it, but
you can see Rod's taper,
but not from the front.
front.
And that's where I give it to Austin. And I love Rod. You know, he's a guy who has always, you know, been in a top call out. He's been an Olympian. You know, I think he's just not like he used to be.
He's not the same, Rod.
He's not the same. I mean, his waist is getting a little bit bigger. Or I started thinking in my head, because of the weight cap, I think maybe he just downsized everywhere else that it makes his waist look bigger, because it is an illusion. I don't think that he's the size that he used to be, because he used to get big, dude.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him at Wasatch like a few years ago. I think that's when Erin got second to Corey Morris. Rod was fourth. Rod was big, bro.
Listen, Rod is fucking peeled. Like, look at him. Like, yeah, he doesn't have the detail.
I think Austin could put the hand down and not put it on his hip. You see how far it's out? Like on his like back
or open it up and kind of push that shoulder out a little bit more.
Yeah.
He looked good,
Just
man.
to give him that more of a taper, look.
I get it.
Because that pose with his hand on that back hip is not doing him justice.
Yeah,
it's either you put it down or you rotate that shoulder forward a little bit.
You don't think that he wouldn't look as tapered if he put both arms down, because then that shoulder kind of drops because that hand on the hip is making that shoulder pop out a little bit more, insinuating more of a taper. You don't think putting them both down would actually make them look more narrow?
No, because all he has to do is press that tricep and bicep against that lat, and that's still going to round out.
Even then, but that shoulder could still flatten out because it's up. Think about it. If your arm's flat, like, he's not the widest guy. That's why I say that. I'm going to have to see if he could do that in some videos.
I do think his arm needs to be higher, though. Like, I've never seen it down at
the arm is like way too back. It's way back there. So that's why I'm saying, like, even if he just dropped the hand, it would still look like that.
Yeah, just where he's at, just at the elbow. Yeah, I can see that.
He's a pretty big dude.
I think he has one of the best stage shots. He's got those obliques.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Obliques.
He looked good as hell. I seen a little bit of the clips. I would have had him higher too, to be honest.
But third place again, Rodrigue, again a multi-time Olympian. This tends to be his show to win. I believe he won this back-to-back years. But again, somebody who continues to likely be closer to that weight cap. I believe he's a taller guy. His issues has always been the same over years. He
drops a lot of weight the day before. I've heard of him dropping, 15, 20 pounds 2 days before flying in from France. I mean, just getting really lean. And that's why I think his peak is always inconsistent. We've seen him like really, really good at shows. Then we've seen him kind of fall off. And, as you know, he worked with cuts before. And I think that was his best look of all time was Pheonix, the first year that he ever won it. But now it just seems like, his body's like, I wouldn't say fading. It's just not fine tuned like it used to be. And I did talk to him the other day. He says that he's done for the season. This was the only show he's going to do. So this is the first time I think in 5 years that he's not going to be doing the Olympia and kind of sits out. So
do you guys think it's smart to have board shorts that match the stage color, or do you want something that's different?
It depends on the stage color, in my opinion.
Look at Rob. I'm actually curious because I've seen more people to match it, and I'm like, it doesn't look bad. Like,
I think it's luck though too, because you don't necessarily know. But for
No,
me, I
no.
always loved with Miami how I had the Miami Vice Chulas. I thought it looked dope. I thought I had the overall best look as far as board shorts and my tan. I thought it was the best on stage because you start wearing colors that don't contrast. Like if you look at Hussein, like he's wearing my shorts, but that those colors don't contrast at all. But with this backdrop, it makes him stand out more, and his physique just is at you because
that's
it's so offset to the background, if that makes sense.
that's why I'm asking because like when
Yeah.
Sadik were the black ones in Chicago, I actually kind of liked it. Or the black and red ones, I'm like, it actually looks pretty good. Like sometimes if it blends in,
Charles stands out to me too with the white. He looks dope in that white with the blue. He
Yeah.
stands out a lot. He stands out the most if I'm just looking.
Charles looks really good, man. I don't think he 100% maybe nails his posing also. Like I just don't feel like his abs are fully contracted, and it could just be the picture. Um, but this is where I think Charles lost it because I think he should have the best back on stage. Like we've seen it, and I just don't think he had the depth that's typically there. Like if you go back to where he was in Texas. So I'm not sure kind of where that went wrong, but he is definitely somebody who needs to, maximize his back because that will allow him to stand out on stage dramatically. And also be very cognizant of this, brother. Notice your tan below your board shorts. All right. They are different colors. Make sure that you get your whole body, put a fucking sock on and go get your whole body tan. Don't
He's got
stop.
some big ass legs.
Bro, his legs are massive. They hang.
He's got some big ass legs.
But
But look at how much it insinuates his taper. Look,
Bro.
it looks like his waist is so drawn in compared to Hussein and all these other. And I know this the pictures aren't scaled together because I know he's the shortest guy in the lineup. But just looking at this, look at how much it really enhances his taper with the legs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This is why training legs is important because it only, especially the quads, right? Because it helps exaggerate your X frame. But again, he looks good, man. He's gonna get better. He's doing Pacific USA's this weekend. All right, first place again, going back to the Olympia, Hassan Karmi, coached by Cuts. Again, he was in. We talk about Chevy. We talk about Deke. He's been running the gauntlet longer than all of them. Like he's been at it. And again, somebody who's just extremely consistent with his conditioning. And I actually think he had the best back on stage here. So he did it. He nailed it. Congratulations to him. He's going back to the O. And he's definitely going to be one of the most conditioned guys. Very impressed. He's not a tall guy. He doesn't have a lot of structure or a crazy structure, but he maximizes it with his waistline compared to his shoulders. So I was really impressed with him. And again, anything else you guys want to add there?
Just want to congratulate Hussein staying on the gauntlet. It goes to show that Ariel keeps these guys consistent. Obviously, Ariel isn't the only one doing the work. You have to have that Olympian mentality to be an Olympian. He already was an Olympian, but to actually win a show this time, I believe he won on points his first year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but being able to win a show and in with your best look ever, nothing beats that feeling. When you bring your best look and you nail it and you go in and it's lights out. I mean, especially when you're wearing my shorts, shout out Chula, use code Drew15 and check out. But anyways, you wear my shorts, you're peeled. They're called the shreds for a reason. And I told him that, and he's the first one to wear both of them. He wore my Miami Vice at prejudging, and then finals he wore those ones. So I'm like, okay, I see you.
Manifest had two guys at the top call out.
Hey, let me live right now. This is the first guy who qualified in my shorts besides myself. So let me live for a minute. Your guys are always winning in the manifest. Let me live for a minute with Chula.
That's dope. Nah, bro, I love Chula. I'm chasing them, bro. Like they set the standard. Every show I see, it's like so many people in there. It's like what they're doing is dope. Like they obviously are, the standard quote unquote on kind of the division right now. So and your shorts do look dope. Wanted to make sure I make that clear. All right, let's run through the Texas Pro real quick. Let's lose some followers. I don't want to hang on these too long. I know we are all in prep right now. Erin just got back today. And then I want to hit us with some questions at the end. I want to do a new segment, very brief, and see if you guys like it. All right. Texas Pro. I'll pick out some of the standout names. If I'm missing anybody, please someone call me out. But we just talked about Ami. He's jumping into Texas. We have Ricardo, Cenat jumping into Texas. And Tan Dallywall, he actually placed fifth place at the last Texas show. We have, let's see, Brock King jumping in. Jeremiah Maxey won this show last year. Ahmad Shakari, Mario Stewart, Micah Thomas Jr. competed with Drew and I at Optimum. And then we have Anton Weatherspoon. So take a quick second, see what you guys think, because this is not an easy prediction. But like I said,
I'm going 1 and 2, Ahmad Shakri and Cenat.
Oh shit. So
I have Mario Stewart and I have Ricardo Cenat battling it out for 1 and 2.
Wow.
I have Ricardo winning. I have Mario. Here's the reason with Mario Stewart. He's getting better each week. Everything is hitting his body. Ahmad Shakri looks super dope, but I think that everything's going to be compared to his Chicago look. And I think he might be eating more food and his body's in overdrive. So he might be burning off more. Therefore, he may not hit his peak the same way.
I'm going to tell you right now, if he peaks right, it's over. It's going to be exactly what I did in Dubai. Because he's bigger than everybody.
I have Cenat taking the show.
Peaks right, he better pose.
I have Cenat taking the show. I have Jeremiah Maxey coming in second. I have
I haven't seen Maxey. That's the thing with him. I know he's never lights out peeled.
I'm trusting DJ. I'm trusting him. Like, he looks good. Texas is his show. He waited all this time for a fucking reason. He better fucking deliver.
This is a lot stronger of a lineup, though, than last year, in my opinion. I think that a lot of these rookies are hitting.
Oh, it was him and Clarence. Remember him and Clarence last year? He thought his best look ever.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see how he looks, especially in person. Like I said, I'm covering this in person, so I got to study this list and make sure that I got everybody's names right when I pronounce it. So,
well, let me take that back. If again, we all know if Anton is on,
he's in here. He's in here. Okay, he took what, like 4 weeks off from.
If Weatherspoon on, like,
he win the show. He should win the show. If he was what he was in Boston, he should win, no question. Like,
I hate to just give it to him because he disappointed me last time.
That's what it comes down to. It's kind of like Deke.
Be on, boy. Be on. Who is coach?
Mike Unchained.
We kind of saw a few guys that aren't nailing peaks this year, but
I'll say this, man. Mike has been he brought in Pooh fucking crazy. So we'll see.
I gotta give Mike some shit though every now and then, because he did hype up a lot of guys that aren't doing too good right now. So we need to put these guys on stage when they peak. But Mike, you got to remember, you're a rival to my coach, so it's always my guys against you, and then tap a game here. But I will say, I'm excited to see Antoine. I hope he improved. Like you said, every time we look at these lists, there's always a name that sticks out of guys that on paper should win. And I mean, looking at Antoine Weatherspoon's name with his structure and all that, if he nails the conditioning, I mean, he has the best structure, just nailing that conditioning. But with how that we see him at other shows, I just can't put him first yet. I can't. I gotta see an improvement before I could put him first. But I love his look.
That's why I actually have him fifth, because then I got third. I have we got Cenat. Okay, then I got Mario third. Fourth, I got Ahmad, and then fifth, I got Anton. This is not an easy lineup, man. But
so I have Ricardo, Mario Stewart. I'm gonna throw Ahmad Shakri 3.
Who's judging?
4 Antoine, and 5 I'm going to throw Micah Thomas in there.
I like that. Who's judging? Is this Tyler judging again?
I think Tyler is coming, because I know that the Manions will be there, so I'm assuming.
Get him on the.
I'm assuming. I got to double check here. Yeah, right. Tyler, you can't really talk to him unless you're getting feedback. Other than that, he's just straight work mode.
Yeah.
But that would be a game changer. For sure. That would be definitely cool.
Erin, lock yours in. This is hard.
You always do this to me. It's kind of hard to, like, because I love Ricardo Cenat.
You said who was going to be on, who was going to be lights out, so stick with that. You tend to have all of them right out of all of us, so stick with your intuition.
I love his look, but you got guys who are coming to pose, like for real, for real. Like, and Antoine ain't no bad poser. He's probably the best poser in that lineup. So
Smooth
when I'm
criminal.
saying if he's on, and Antoine will kind of take the show. But
If I'm on, I'll be standing right next to you at the Olympia. You know, a lot of ifs. Let's
If I grow a back, I'll be next to both of you at the.
so
okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This
It's
is what I'm
growing
gonna do.
though.
Let me see. Who is that? Maxi?
yeah, he never posted. I'm trying to find something.
He's the sleeper, bro. I'm telling you right now. He doesn't post because he probably knows he's on.
Here's something.
Man, he got big as hell.
He did get big. Okay.
That's 6 weeks ago. So he probably hitting.
Yeah, I'm going with my man. Yo, DJ, spin that shit. He coming.
Okay, let me go back to the list. Let me get my damn.
I don't think did I put Maxi in my 5? I think I forgot.
That's disrespectful.
I just forgot. I had Shakri 3rd. I'm gonna put Shakri 4th and put Maxi 3rd.
Nah, I'm going Ahmad Shakri, Ricardo Cenat, Antoine, Maxi, and no, I'm gonna go Mario Stewart then Maxi.
I can see that.
It's hard because like Mario.
It's so hard because you don't know how these guys are looking right now.
Yeah, yeah. This is where you got to go off of like consistencies in the past and kind of who's already been out swinging.
I want to see all these guys come in. That's why I can't really go off of if everybody's 100%, how would it go? Even then, it's hard to do because you're trying to play these lineups in your mind and think about it. And even after prejudging, sometimes it's even hard based on where they're even, set up. Sometimes it doesn't go the way that you think.
I agree. All right, let's jump into Pacific. This is not as steep of a show.
Ooh, it's a physique on here that I've been waiting to see.
Fetty
Alvarez, I remember him. He used to be a Classic Pro, started off in Classic. He actually did the show last year. So this is the show last year that me and Jonas battled it out. We got Charles. We got Joe.
It's 2 physiques on here that I want to see.
CJ Kim.
CJ Kim is
Josh
one.
Andrew.
He's
I love
nasty.
CJ Kim is one, and Fetty
we got Freddie Mo in the building.
Freddie Mo physique is
Bro, I haven't seen what the hell? I haven't seen him compete.
He's the definition of a bubbly ass physique, bro.
Oh, bro.
What a tight waist is.
I don't know if they tagged him on here.
Does he even have it? Yeah, I just saw him.
I don't even think, does he post any updates? What's his?
No R. Fetty. Feddy.
Bruh, chest is so dumb. His chest is dumb. Dumb.
No recent updates, but yeah, he looks. Damn, I haven't seen him compete. Is this like a comeback show for him?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him compete in years.
Yeah, he's nasty, bro.
In a while.
Yeah, he's nasty.
Yeah, he looks good, man. I'm really excited to see him come back. Who's his coach?
I don't know who's
he might be.
I don't even. He's asleep, bro. I don't know much about him other than I used to follow him back in the day. He just stopped posting.
He's an Olympian.
Yeah, he's an Olympian. You're right. He just stopped posting.
So I always wonder, man. You got freaks like this with like crazy physiques, and he just goes MIA and then just jumps into a show and nobody expects it.
I remember that.
Damn.
But
even that dude looked good too.
Look at his chest, though. Look at his chest. Go to that. Go down to that. No, the other one with the red tank top.
This was
yeah, what the fuck?
He's got that boxer glove.
Red chest.
Let me borrow that chest. Let me borrow Banks's back so I could go win Olympia.
Red chest is dumb.
All right. Where are we at?
There we go.
Here it is.
This is an exciting one. First look at it, I didn't really I was like, okay. And then I look at these names there. I'm recognizing some of them.
We got Niall. So Niall turned pro years ago. He's like a famous social media influencer. coming back. He has like this popular podcast. He lives in California, so it's kind of cool seeing him on this list. We got Pooh, Austin, Serge Victor. It's gonna be good, man. Yeah, you're right. This is a lot of people on this list who like.
Hey, click on CJ Kim.
CJ got a
Dude, CJ Kim is men's physique. I think he's a little bit on the
Bro, I love this dude physique. I helped him pose that, I think, 2 nationals ago. Bruh, like his
How tall is he?
He's not that tall.
He's tall.
Well, no, he's in class.
He's tall.
Okay. Okay, you're right. He's 5'9", 5'10". He competed with Dan when at USA.
Yeah, I remember that.
He actually
That's what CJ got second, right? When he went pro.
I'll never forget it because CJ came off stage and he thought he got his pro card and they didn't give it. Like
right.
That was like painful to watch. But
I gotta say one thing about Asian bodybuilders. They got some clean ass skin.
yes, they do. Yes, they
got
do.
that blemish free skin. They don't even got a shave, bro. I go through a manscape every other month.
One thing that Tyler wanted him to do was just bring his back up and just be a little bit more 3D.
Yeah, like look at his.
Yeah, because he has a longer torso. So yeah,
I'm excited, man.
Especially the lat from the front too. He's got the shape and he gets peeled.
Definitely has
hella peeled.
So this is gonna be a good one, man. This is hard because I feel like there's a lot of guys on like a very similar like planes, so it's hard to put them like rank them. But all right, Drew, you're first. Lose some followers.
I'm gonna go Charles Carter 1, Pooh 2. I'm gonna give Fetty 3, Austin Whitty 4. I just saw Joshua.
I know this one's hard. I was thinking the same.
I didn't know Guidry was doing this for a second. All right, I still got Charles Carter 1, Pooh 2, Josh 3, Fetty 4.
Fuck. We have the same.
Austin Whitty 5.
We have the same exact list. I'm pissed about.
I'm gonna start writing these down before we do this because I got to go over them.
Hey,
I'm seeing these guys.
It's actually one of our followers. One of our followers do write them down. I don't know who he is, but
Tony.
Please
Tony.
reach out.
Go
and
ahead.
send us some of these. Send us these.
He does his predictions, then he takes all of ours, and then he puts it like on a cliff note, and he compares them each week.
Yeah, like what I want to do. If anybody out there watching this knows how to work like Google, like they watch
like a spreadsheet.
Yeah, and they watch Bro Chat. Like there's like a point system where you put their names in and you put like what placing they got, and then it adds up points at the end so we can see who won.
Where's Johnny been? We got to get Johnny doing this again.
I don't think I'll ask Trey. Trey's more like Johnny's good with like technology.
Yeah.
Trey's good with like building websites.
I forget you got a guy for everything.
Hey, bro.
I'll let you handle it.
People ask how am I able to manage all the shit that I do?
They think you're doing it.
I surround myself with it, bro. Yeah. Half the time I'm the face of it.
So they don't realize that Johnny lives with you.
Yeah, bro. Every Olympia prep, he's gonna come down and stay with me for an extended period of time. And then like I'll fly him out anywhere that we need to go. Like last year, he didn't stay with me. I just flew him everywhere. That's why my expenses last year were so high. But like every show that I did, he came to every single show, and when I had to fly him out there. So like it was crazy. The only one he didn't go to was India, but I still maximized that content. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, I think we're. And did you say yours?
No.
Like, and here's this Nile guy. Yeah, 1.1 million.
That's a young LA cat.
Yep.
Got those glutes.
Like he turned
he's peeled
back in the day.
Is he short?
Yeah, he's short.
Yes.
That's what I think is going to hold him back because he's not going to. He's kind of like Cho.
He looks short though, like you know what I mean.
Short muscle bellies.
Yeah.
Like not muscle belly, but short. Yeah. So when he poses, I feel like he's just going to be an oddball out, especially when you're next to guys like Fetty, who's wide as a house. You know, you got guys that are big. Like Guidry's pretty big.
These guys are full, bro. This dude don't look crazy full. Like he has a good physique, but bro, we talking about The league.
Yeah.
Damn, crazy transformation though.
1 million followers. I gotta step up my game, guys.
Yes.
Sheesh.
And y'all, if y'all watch this right now, y'all not subscribed, can y'all please do us a big favor and press that subscribe button? Like, show some love. We got to get on Niles level. But
Giggity.
shit,
What do we get that? We get that gold plaque when we hit 1 million subscribers. What one is it?
That's the silver. Gold is 1 million.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Pooh for the dub.
Okay, let's go, Pooh.
Only reason I'm going with Pooh for the dub is because Pooh is really balanced from the front and back and can hold his poses.
So is Charles, bro. He just didn't nail it last week.
I'm gonna go with Charles second. That is my dude. But if he bring it, you bring it. I'm gonna go Fetty Mo, Josh Guidry, and
Yeah, look at his comment.
yeah, he's like, who the fuck is these people? And I just throw Austin
That is
Whitty
true. There's
in there.
nobody on there that's been a hitter.
Austin Whitty. I go with Austin Whitty for the fifth.
I love Austin's look, man. But all right, man, efficient. Seriously though, everybody, good luck this weekend. We are getting down to the wire. You know, four more shows to qualify, and it's crazy to see the amount of talent still out there. And not only that, how many young guys are stepping on stage for the Olympia for the first time. So it's going to be a really exciting year, and you know, a lot of people are going to be able to make a name for themselves this year. A lot. All right. I wanted to maybe answer a few questions if this segment goes a little fast, but I'm curious. I want to do something called over or under hyped. I want to throw out just a few topics. I want you guys to tell me if you think it's over or under hyped, and then we can expand on it briefly. Cool.
Who are you talking about? Kamala Harris? Overhyped. Get your ass out of here. Get your ass out of here.
I think people messaged me and they were like, or after, and they were like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a Republican." I was like, "What?" I was like, "I am literally. I mean, I'm dead down. I'm dead in the middle. Where it's like, I'll vote for you if I believe you're the best for our country." Because we were talking about the whole Trump situation.
Oh
And-
yeah.
And I was
Well,
like,
people jump to conclusions of things that we didn't even talk about. And it's like, well, you guys are making it political. I'm like, we're literally talking about an assassination attempt on our president,
yeah,
you know, and it turns into how it's political. I'm like, anybody being assassinated, even if Biden had an attempt assassination, like, don't be that guy that's like, oh, you know, fuck, he made it. No, like, these are still people. Whether you agree with their political views or not, they're still people. So we cover everything. It's not just a bodybuilding page, you know, but that's the whole narrative switch that we got to go through.
exactly. Yep. All right, let's run through it quick because I do want to try to get a few questions. All right, over or under hyped pre-workout?
Overhyped.
Very overhyped.
Very overhyped.
People can't function. Half the people, it's placebo. They think they can't function and go to the gym without it, and it's absolutely wild. I love my Ghost pre-workout.
Bro, I just hit legs today without fucking pre-workout.
People take too much of this shit. That's what it is. And then they do that dry scoop with the water bullshit. I'm like, and then they make videos about it. I'm like, hell no. I mean, if you need to kick me up or something, like, you know, once in a while, but here's the thing, your body gets so used to it, and then you need more of it, and you become addicted to the product, so then you're buying more of it, overhyped.
Yeah, that's 100% overhyped. All right. A prep coach in the off season.
Underrated. Everybody needs it. That's how you improve. People want to have off season as fuck off season where it's go and eat McDonald's and drink and go out with your friends and date. No, that should be the time where you're more locked in than ever because that's what's going to make the difference. Shows are won from the off season. That's where you improve.
Yeah, I won't work with the client if they don't have intentions of continuing into an off season because that's not somebody who I want to align myself with. Because again, like you said, I'm not going to do damage control when you want to start prep and you have 16 weeks and the first month of that is getting off excess body fat that you put on because you weren't able to manage and control habits in an off season, right? Like if we don't have at least a pre-prep phase going into it, and that's at least starting with, 24 to 28 weeks out, then that's not happening. And my best clients, my most successful clients, the ones I've turned pro all this season have all been those who I've taken through off seasons. It's got opportunity for me to learn their body. And I'm a coach who likes working in flexibility. Like I'll give you 2 free meals a week. I'll build in waffles and shit in your plan because at the end of the day, if I can control what's going in, then I can have better, outcomes, when it comes to the outer shell. But
That's why you're a good coach, Alex.
love you. But again, there's just too many people out there who just, like you said, they don't treat off season like they should, and they think it's a time to just complete fuck off. If you have a coach who understands that you're not a robot and they build a plan that's sustainable for you, then you'll be in a good position, and off season will be seamless. Trend, overhyped or underhyped?
Overhyped. Still got to put that work in. People think it's like the roid of all steroids, and you're going to take it and you're going to turn into Ronnie Coleman. It don't work that way. And for the people that do run it, you don't realize that you have to still have everything in check. And it's one of those advanced drugs to where, a lot of damage could come from it. I think it's underhyped as far as what it could do to you mentally and obviously physically, the damage it could do. But it's overhyped in the aspect of people thinking they're going to get these crazy gains. Now, don't get me wrong, it works, but it's not going to be like you take it and you're Ronnie Coleman the next day, because this is what these kids say in the gym. I overhear conversations like, bro, imagine if I was on trend, I would be this, that. Like, it don't work that way.
It does.
So I would say definitely overhyped as far as physical things that are achievable physically, but underrated as far as what it could do to you. Like the risk and reward, I think kind of go hand in hand for this drug.
Well, I mean, you took my exact words out of my mouth. Yeah, because I wanted to hit it from the same exact angles you did, where it's
hell no, bro. It's underrated, man. Let's just shoot 100 megs of fucking test trend, bro.
100.
Where your LDLs and your HDLs, and you got a liver that's liquefying.
That's what they do.
It's my favorite compound
they
out
do.
there. I'll be honest, my favorite compound out there, but it's overhyped by people thinking they're going to take it and they're going to become Superman. That's the way I look at it.
There's a lot of guys that don't use it. I mean, Chris Bumstead said he doesn't. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, there are people that I know for a fact that don't, and they still get hard.
Yeah, like I think it's.
But he's saying that to appeal to the 23 million followers that he has, because here's the thing: if he says he does trend, how many young kids do you think would do it?
Yeah. That's true.
So I think that's why he knows that it's so overhyped. That's why he says he doesn't do it.
Overhyped or underhyped? IFBB Pro cards.
Overhyped now. They're giving them out like candy, and it's too easy. And another thing is, as soon as you get a pro card, then people are putting their in their captions, next level, road to the O, and it's like you guys have no idea. You start back at the bottom, and it's like. You got to remember, going to the Olympia is 1% of the 1%. And then you got to remember, placing at the Olympia is the 1% of the 1%'s 1%. You're a pro's pro at that point. I think a lot of people follow our channel, or they have these unrealistic expectations, and that's what we stem from. Everything should be built up in a level. Before you ever do nationals, you should win an overall at a state show, not some weak local level show, state show. Once you are at nationals, I wouldn't even consider a pro show until you're an overall winner, because I'll be completely honest with you. Any overall national champion this year would not be a top 10 at any pro show.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth of it.
Other than Cenat, but he doesn't count.
You don't count. That boy been on stage in the other league.
Yeah,
he's got 10 wins in the Elite Pro League.
I'm going to ask you guys,
as far as USAs and Universe and Junior Nats and Junior USAs and all that, anybody, and this is no disrespect to them, like a lot of these guys look great, but to make that leap, it's almost like being in college, being, first round draft pick and then going to the NFL. You could be a bomb,
I want to ask you this, and I want your honest opinion, because I don't know how to feel about it. But I had a pro leave recently because I turned him pro. And his excuse was, we both have the same goal now of stepping on the Olympia stage. And to me, that's a personal reason for him to leave you, an easier way to just say, hey, I'm done, because now you're competition, but he probably isn't being realistic. And that's what I'm trying to sit here and say, like
you're on the same level now.
But, and that's where I'm like,
I think we had this conversation a little bit. Like, I think on like the second or third podcast,
coaching pro clients as a pro.
If I was you, I wouldn't take it personal. just because, like he said, I mean, y'all both about to. I mean, I'm not saying he finna all of a sudden come beat Alex Toppin, like probably not. But a lot of guys in this industry, they let they lead with emotion, so you don't know what that person is going through, or if he had some jealousy or envy towards you, or even that you're his coach. You don't know.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for him to say that.
But that's why I was sitting here, like, because I didn't know what to say, because to a degree I get it, but why then be coached by somebody if your end goal is to be there? Like it's like, why don't you go to a Cuts or somebody who has done it?
Because
True.
because you know how many people message me on a daily basis, bro. Hook me up with Cuts. Hook me up with, he not reading my emails. He ain't doing it. Bro, shut the fuck up. He busy.
Same. Yeah.
He ain't taking
They'll
you.
ask me what Cuts rates
God
are,
damn.
and they'll ask me if I could get them
Bro,
on. And I'm like, he
I
ain't
get
answering.
I get 100 messages about can Cuts coach me
That's
every goddamn day.
that's
That's annoying.
that's dope though. Question:
So it's
How does Cuts make your meal plan? Do you guys give him like, hey, I really like this, and that, and then he kind of makes it around that, or he's like, just gives you what he thinks?
mine a little bit. Yeah, because I
Off
don't
season, yeah, he would
because
kind of
I
say,
don't I don't eat
But
no
prep, you
fish.
get no say.
Well, what's crazy is it's still based, like, say for instance in the off season, he'd be like, okay, so what do you like? What would you want in your diet? Well, shit, some cereal, something like that. But then like he will start your prep off with that, but he'll
Okay,
slowly start taking that shit away
that makes sense.
and
Gotcha.
just switching it into the cleaner
The
carb or
cleaner
whatever the
sources.
case may be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
All
no,
right.
he's really good with maneuvering the meals. So
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got last one: overhyped or underhyped sponsorships.
overhyped, way overhyped.
I would
I know
say
big on this because Erin's.
Too many people get ambassadors mixed up with sponsorships, and they act like it's a sponsorship to, post all this stuff. Now, a legitimate athlete sponsorship, I think it's very underhyped, but the only guys that are getting that are social media stars, influencers, and the one of one percentages like Erin, Mr. Olympias, things like that, to be with Young LA or Dark Sport. But 99.9% of these people, it's kind of like being an Instagram supermodel, right? Like, it's not legitimate. You're not on Vogue, as Drake would say, so it don't count.
right, but
Remember who's our demographic, right? We have people who
I
want to be
I
body,
still think it's underhyped,
like undervalued in other people's eyes.
undervalued, just because like you can just take men's physique for instance. There's a lot of men's physique guys that could and would do really well with certain companies, and it's just the fact that a lot of these companies don't really understand bodybuilding, and we
Or
try to
what they can offer.
so yeah, we try to pitch ourselves to certain brands and stuff like that because in the beginning, boy, nigga, I was up there typing the Nike fucking Gucci, like, nigga, they don't know you. They don't even know what the fuck bodybuilding is.
You're too jacked for Gucci, bro. You'd have to get the 3XL and it's too tight. You got to be skinny for those
Hilarious.
I
skinnies.
But
remember
no, like I
emailing
was just reaching out.
for his, remember his old company Hira or whatever. I'll never forget that, bro. I still remember he read it and never answered.
But that's the thing. Like I think it's definitely undervalued just a little bit. But um
As far as the athlete's perspective, I think it's
sponsorships are a little tricky though. They're real tricky. Tricky.
you
I'll
got to
be
ultimately be somebody of benefit. That's what it is. They're hiring people that are going to benefit their brand, but you got to remember your own value. So then they're not just taking you for a ride to use you to make money for them and then give you nothing. And that's
And
kind of what Erin has taught
I'm
me.
gonna tell you one thing. You go to Dubai, they'll show you your worth.
Mm,
Swear to God.
all right.
Trust me. When I
One,
say at the end of this year,
Bro, if y'all want to take a trip like in like January or
oh,
February,
let's already got plans.
What?
Let's do it. Wherever y'all want to go. Let's go.
Bro, just imagine the
Let's do it.
concept. Imagine that shit. That shit gonna be moving.
Like,
and hold on. And I'm gonna make this clear too.
We got to go with Erin because he's got the plug out there. He's the king of Dubai right now.
Yeah, that has
We're gonna have the ins that we got nowhere else.
crazy, bro. Dubai is my number. I'm gonna say this. My number one destination in the world right now.
Bro,
number one.
It's Megan to have our honeymoon there. Like I'm one. It's ridiculous.
The only thing is we'll need more Ferraris because there's 3 of us. All of us can't fit in
Bro,
one.
I'm renting the crazy.
Trust me, whatever you want, you can have it. Whatever you want, whatever you want. What do you want? You want this? You want this? You want that, bro?
You said the guy gave you the key to the Ferrari. You're like, can you ship this to the U.S.?
Yeah, ship it to US for me.
I'm like, yeah, your ass fits in that thing now.
Yeah, lastly,
all the way back.
I'm very blessed to have amazing sponsors. I work with Ghost. I work with Alphalete. I will never forget in the beginning, I allowed my identity and early social media career to be wrapped up in that, when I think the biggest thing you guys need to focus on is you are the brand, right? They're just somebody who is with you along the ride, and it's a part of the value that you believe in that you're giving back to your supporters. So I think it's overhyped in a way that people think it's going to make who they are, when in reality it's underhyped because it allows you to open up doors to meet a lot of new people, right? Obviously there's a financial benefits to it. And if you utilize it the right way, sponsorships are really extremely beneficial, especially, I always say this, if you want to be a bodybuilder full-time, you can't be just a bodybuilder. So that's one avenue to maximize that. All right, just a couple questions and then we're out of here. Weirdest place on your body you ever did a shot?
Calf.
You did a calf shot?
Yeah.
Oh,
and not
too?
with an insulin
What?
pin. It was with a straight up like
see, I did mine with
free
an insulin
CC.
pen. You're fucking stupid.
I realized that after the fact, and that was when I was probably 17.
I did mine with an insulin pen. That shit, it hurt, but it didn't hurt. But
It hurts after you start walking.
Lingering fucking shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
like a tetanus shot. You feel like you just got kicked.
Weird. Shit was weird.
I only do my glutes now. I did my shoulders once. It seeped down. I like my striations in my shoulders, so I'm not doing my shoulders anymore. My glutes will never have striations anymore because they too much scar tissue. But the weirdest spot I've ever done it was not even the weirdest, it's common, my quad, and that hurt so fucking bad. The oil seep.
I did it in my quad. The quad hurts the second day.
Yes, it's the second day.
The first day I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this shit every time. Bullshit.
It seeps in.
Bro, I'm never doing that shit again. I'm still scarred from that. I'm still scarred from that. It hurt
that shit hurts. That shit hurts.
That one was bad. All right, the weirdest place you guys ever did it. Oh man.
Oh man, I haven't. I'm not even that weird. Start to think about it. I'm like,
remember?
I haven't done anything weird. Yeah, it's so weird.
Car?
Yeah, I guess. We're a bunch of lames, bro.
Was it moving?
As you're driving on the interstate.
No, it wasn't.
I did this place, man. Middle of the football field after I scored a game-winning touchdown.
Where the hell was everybody at?
It was after the game, everybody to close.
Oh, it was like, well, you said after you score the touchdown, like
take it off, girl. Nah, but yeah, we went back. We had people out that
you
night.
Don't get stage fright, huh?
Nah, bro, I was on top of the world, bro. Come on, you scored a game-winning touchdown Friday night, football, bro. Nobody touching you. Like,
lights.
You and right, I was smoking.
I'm too. I haven't done shit like that. I really have not done anything weird, to be honest.
Y'all ever think our parents watch this shit?
My mom does watch this shit.
My dad watches shit every time. What you mean? My dad, boy, y'all so stupid.
It don't change my answer.
Bro, I swear, if you, Drew, your mom or Aaron's dad comes up to me and be like, what you doing on that football field? Like, I'm
going to tell her to say that now. She'll do it, though.
Definitely be my dad.
I'm
most definitely.
That's the thing about our parents, though. They all laugh about this. They got something that society usually doesn't have, and that's humor and logic.
Damn,
Yeah.
So it's actually funny.
boy. My parents did the crack. I don't know what they done did, but I know my parents was wild.
Yeah.
People
they
with the
got
best
their own little
experiences, and yeah, the smartest people have the best experiences. I'm telling you.
Right. They just didn't have
You turned out all right, so
I
they
turned
didn't
out
have
they
cameras
okay.
back then. Otherwise, they'd still be doing shit.
Yeah.
All right, last serious question. How have certain injuries changed the way that you train? Do you think it's prevented you from having your best physique?
it made me train safer. I mean, that's you learn from mistakes. I mean, I don't try to touch the hot stove, more than once. I learned that it's hot, so I figured out what worked for me and what doesn't, because you could feel things that hurt when you're training, right? You don't push past that pain to where it's like, okay, it's actually hurting.
Yeah, but has it
Yeah.
forced you to like take a notch off of your intensity level because of fear of injury?
Yeah,
Off of weight.
For me, it has. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me
especially
wrong.
when my shoulder got messed up. I was
Yes.
like, oh
It's just-
shit.
It's like
Yeah, and then you're
that
benching
shit-
405 for a 1 rep, like
But
8
when I
weeks out
saw
from
that,
Olympia.
when I saw that, I was like, I'll never forget. Who was it? It was Dorian. He was with Erin at something.
I had it sent to me by like five of our mutual friends. They're like, "What is he doing?" I'm like, "I don't know, but he's
Yeah.
fucking crazy." Well, you get a pec tear, man.
That would
It was over.
Did Cuts like
That was-
did Cuts text you?
Yeah, he was like, don't do that shit no more.
Were you with Larry Wheels? Who are you with?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's the worst person to do that shit with. He's known for that shit. Like everybody he trains with, it gets injuries.
I would never train.
That's still impressive, though.
It's impressive, but that shit was heavy as hell.
Should be.
Yeah, I think overall my intensity level is there. I think the biggest thing is I change exercises more to go more towards things that I can control a little better and connect with. And I don't think that's hindered my physique at all.
Yeah, like say for instance, like I can't do like regular dips because of my shoulder, but I'll go get on the dip machine and I can control that. Versus my body, you don't know if a fucking slip or you just never know what could happen. So you just got to play it safe, man. And like you said, you have to train safe. You have to.
I think, and this was something I know we're about giving value here, right? Like we all follow a lot of social media influencers or our favorite bodybuilders, and they always post training videos and stuff like that. The best workout, best exercise, the best meal plan, right, is the one that you can follow. And not only that, when it comes to the training, it's the one that you can connect with the most, right? So if you are seeing somebody do a bent over row with a barbell and you can't connect with the muscle, right, then try to use something that, allows you to connect with the muscle. Like, don't just go there and move weight. Like, we're talking about preventing injuries. Like, that's what I used to do. Like, I have the scars, the surgeries, all of it to prove it, and I just was old school. My dad, he built that foundation for me where it's like, get your ass in the gym, the reps, or the set doesn't start until, the pain hits, right? And I love that. And it's helped build a foundation. But now when you add a little bit more science on top of it, when there's a little bit more of, knowledge, I guess, the proper way to do things, I think it allows you to slow down while also speeding up at the same time.
It's a good thing that some of us get injured, because then we learn. The people that keep getting injured and don't learn, and then they're going back and doing the same dumbbells and all that, like Larry Wheels, hey, if that's what he likes to do, it's what he likes to do. But that whole concept to me isn't worth it, because then you're tearing everything. And for us, one tear could be the end of a career, right? Yeah. So I think learning from these mistakes, and then like you said, you're connecting to that muscle more. Like for my back, I always moved a lot of weight, right? But my back wasn't really showing that I wasn't adding that density. So I had to really slow it down and focus on different angles and the tempo, the time under tension, and the squeeze and the hold and the stretch and all that good stuff. And I had to drop the weight like 50%, but my back has improved so much more that when I was deadlifting, 5 plates for reps, because I'm more controlled and I'm letting myself control the weight rather than, the weight control me and causing injury. And then when you get injured, your back hurts, and that's taken away from your chest day, your arm day, your shoulder day, and everything else, because your back is the center of gravity.
Yep. I love it, man. And at the end of the day, learn from our mistakes. Trust me, we've made enough of them. And hopefully we can give a little bit of back to y'all. But outside of that, guys, another crazy good episode. NPR shirts are coming soon. I want to remind y'all, man, these shirts are not for profit for us, right? These shirts are being
Put your screen down a little bit. Show it.
bro, I can't. The thing moves. Like when I look, like it moves with me.
Oh.
So like, but NPR should see.
That shit's
I was
funny.
like, yeah, why did I do that?
Hilarious.
High tech Alex.
It connects with my face. But this shirt is dope as hell. This is just one of them, right? We kept coming out with two. NPR has a radio station tower, lightning bolts, all that good shit. Yeah, it says what elevate the men's physique division, right? And that's what we're about. So these shirts are going to be sold. We have another shirt coming out. It's about the syrup debate. That one's probably my favorite. And again, all of the profits are going back to donating for a show for the men's physique division. So if you guys want to support, it'd be amazing. We'll show you guys and tell you guys a little bit more about it here in the near future. But for the 2025 season, we're going to put our money where our mouth is to make sure that we're building this division up to as high as it possibly can. But outside of that, guys, as always, appreciate y'all. Continue to kill this prep. Erin, I'm glad you're home. You made it back safe. Get back to work, brother. You got a lot of people to prove wrong and a lot of people to prove right. And Drew, have a blast in Texas, man. It's so cool to see you getting these opportunities, man. I told you it was only a matter of time. So make sure you seize it. And again, another episode down.